Down in the place to be. Forget your cares and more, most definitely.
What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today we're taking a look at 3 of the Super 7 Disney Ultimates figures, I guess. We're going to be taking a look at the Alice in Wonderland's Mad Hatter and Alice herself, and then the Disney Pinocchio's Pinocchio. Now, I'm not going to be going all in on this line. I don't care about Robin Hood. I did do a video for the Hyacinth, the big hippo. I kind of wish that I did them together, but I didn't know I was going to be getting these. But we are going to be taking a look at these guys today, so let's pop them out of their package, and I'll talk about each one of them really quick. So, a recent store that I've been going to for a while now is actually closing down. So I was able to get each of these for 20 bucks, which is pretty awesome. I mean, it's unfortunate that he's closing down. He's just retiring, which is good for him. But I was able to score all these for 20 bucks a piece because I don't know if they're worth the mass retail price. I do really like the art on the back for the Mad Hatter. I think that that looks nice. There's a little read-up for him. And then obviously you get to see him in the package with the wide variety of accessories that he does come with. Alice is sporting a blue box, and that's obviously in the smaller one. Now, little fact about me, I absolutely love Alice in Wonderland. It's one of my favorite Disney movies, and I've seen it a whole bunch of times. And I've actually read the book. The movie's very different from the book, but I still really enjoy the movie as well. I'm not like one of those people that's like, oh, it's not accurate to the book, blah, blah, blah. I'm not like that, but I do really like a bunch of things that they got going on in here, though I do really feel like it's a missed opportunity for something already. But I really do like the way that Alice looks in her box with all her art, like the tree that she falls into. I think that that's pretty cool. And then when you wish upon a star, you do get Pinocchio. Now, I really do like that the box is the window. You get to see Jiminy Cricket there. And then on the back, it's like pretty much just dark blue, black. And then you open this up, you see all the clocks that Geppetto made. And then you get a little read-up for Pinocchio. Not that I think anybody really needs a read-up for Pinocchio, but he does come with a bunch of cool stuff as well. So without further ado, I think it's time I go ahead and open all 3 of these up. Let's go ahead and hop into it, starting with Pinocchio himself. Super 7, Super 7, Super 7. Just when you started to regain my love and my respect, you released these turds of figures. I mean, I can't be too upset because I did get them pretty cheap, but damn, look what happened to Alice right out of the package. Literally opened her up and she was broken. I didn't even get to move the joint because it's super tight on the other side. And that feels like it's going to break too, and there's no way for me to fix this. So I guess something had to go wrong, right? I got all these figures for cheap, you know. Something had to go wrong. So I don't know. For now, I really don't have the time to go back up there because he's about an hour out from where I'm at now, and they close soon, so I'd have to get over there pretty quick, and I don't want to bother them, so I'm probably just going to do blue tack in there for now. Or I don't have glue, unfortunately, but we'll do Alice first. Not that Mad Hatter and Pinocchio are much better, to be completely honest with you. So I don't know if it's the Disney tax or if Super 7 just thought that people would buy these no matter what, but these are not nearly as good as their Animaniacs or their SpongeBob figures. Even the Hyacinth, it's not nearly as good as that figure. But taking a look at the head sculpt, I don't like it. I didn't really realize how bad it was until I opened it up. I mean, this one's not terrible, but the other ones are not very good, and they're pretty much the same exact thing. It makes no sense. So then most of it is cloth goods. So you do get like a hard plastic torso, and then you get like her little apron thing and the dress. And the dress is actually done very nicely. A bendy wire would have been nice, but Super 7 doesn't really do that. But man, dude, the freaking leg. This was the one I was excited for the most, too. The skin tone is very weird. It's very waxy. I don't know if that gets picked up on camera, but it's very waxy. You can take the dress off. I'm not going to because I don't want to put it back on, but you do get a little bow back there sculpted. And then the leg looks good. I mean, there's really not much to talk about. You get her shoe there, whatever. But again, if it wasn't for the leg, I don't know. Because I'm going to put blue tack in there, but this is, even if this didn't break, I'm not very happy with this figure. So, taking a look at the accessories here, like I said, you get 2 alternate heads, and I really don't think this warranted 2 extra heads. I think, I'll talk about accessories a little bit more as we get into them, but this is barely different. You get surprise face and concerned face, I don't know. And they both look equally as weird. You get this cat. Why? I mean, this cat's barely in the movie. Whatever. I will say I do like the little glasses bird guy. He's pretty cool. He's very thin, so please be careful. But yeah, I do like the glasses bird guy. He's cool. Get a little figurine of her, like the miniature version of her when she eats the little biscuit thing, so she turns small. I guess this is fine. I could have thought of a million other things I would have rather had than this. Then you do get a bunch of extra hands. You do get just a pair of flat hands, even though she comes with flat hands. I don't get it. You get a pair of gripping hands to hold this little bottle. Very, very tiny, sorry. Very, very tiny. And then you get the shrinking biscuit cookie thing hand. The biscuit doesn't come out. So that's it. Compared to other things that we get from other lines, this is nothing. These alternate heads suck. The only good thing that I like is this. Why did we not get the Cheshire Cat with her? She is small. There's barely any paint on this. I would have definitely sacrificed both the extra heads and this cat to get the Cheshire Cat. I find that very odd that they did not. Or like the time hare. I don't know why we didn't get him neither. I much would have rather had those than these, but that's just me. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I think they dropped the ball on the accessories. Did that just pop off too? Oh my god. These feel cheap. So you get a ball peg at the top of the head. It's not really going to get much movement. It does pivot, but I mean, I understand that. The hairs, whatever. You get a horrendous hinge on the shoulder. It's just a hinge. I guess it works. That's pretty ugly. And then you get a swiveling single jointed elbow with the wrist that swivel and hinge. Be super gentle on the wrist hinges. They are very, very thin. You get a swivel up at the top. Man, this sucks. And then at the torso, and then you get a ball peg at the hip. She could kick forward about that far if you angle it right. It does have a waist. She does have a waist swivel. And you do get no rotation at the thigh. You get a single jointed knee that really does that. That's about all you're going to get, which is virtually nothing. And then the hinge at the ankle goes up, down, and pivot. Be careful with that pivot. Feels like a Marvel Legend one. Feels like it could snap and strip at any moment. So, wow, this is really a dud. They really dropped the ball on this one, which is, you know, I got it for $20. I can't be too upset, I guess. But damn, this is a turd. Sticking in Wonderland, now we have the Mad Hatter. And he's not as bad, but I also don't think he's very good neither. The head sculpt is very good. I'll say that. I really like his expression. I like that the hair is a separate piece, so it looks very clean. The 10/6 hat, the 10-gallon hat looks nice. Looks very good in terms of colors. I like the greens. Kind of wish there was paint on the buttons, even if they were just a slightly different shade of green. His hands are very expressive, and I really like his very expressive hands. I think that works very nicely for the Mad Hatter. When you are articulating him, please make sure that you are watching where the hinge is. Like, pull the sleeve down and look, because there is a big chance that you will break something. You get a soft goods jacket. I like the little button on the back. It looks very nice. Kind of wish it wasn't a soft goods jacket. It's too small, and it doesn't play to the figure very well. I don't know. It's not terrible, but then you get his feet, and then there is like blue for his socks in there, which I think is a nice little touch that they threw in there. But there's not a lot of paint on this. He's tiny. Like, he's about as tall as my finger. I don't know. I think he's a really small figure for the price point. You do get 2 alt heads. You get this one, just a happy one. It's fine. I don't think it's different enough to warrant it, but I mean, it's pretty different. This is a fine alternate head. This one's pretty cool when he sticks his head in his hat. I do like this. It would have been cool if this articulated, but it doesn't. But I do like this. This is a really nice alternate head. And just a black on the inside, and it is not hollow. So then you get some extra hands, which again, I really love his expressive hands. So you get like the tea dripping hand, the pointing finger hand, or pouring. I don't know. You get the gripping hand, and then you get one of the plate that he eats. This is like a soft, squishy plastic, which I think is kind of funny. So I do like this. I love the hands. They're very expressive, very cool. And of course, you can't be the Mad Hatter without some tea. So you get the drunk mouse on the inside there, or the high mouse, whatever you want to say. It would have been cool if this kind of like rose in and out, but it doesn't. You get some nice paint on there, and then of course you get the tea. And what's cool is you can dip the plate in the tea. I like that. Oops. That's a nice touch. Wow, I cannot hold this thing. That's a nice touch. So if you want him dipping the thing in the tea, you can do that. I do like that. You get his little pocket watch that he gets, like it's like a donut. I like that. You get the clock in there. The paint is nice, and then it's a real little chain on there. That's a cool accessory. You get the birthday cake, of course. Happy birthday. Really nice cake, actually. Very good paint. Looks very nice. And it's pretty big, too. So, but I gotta say the best accessory is definitely the three pouring kettle. That looks, the 3 spouted kettle, I guess. Looks great. Only problem is it cannot stand. You gotta like, it can, but you gotta really balance it. So that's awesome. The tea coming out of it looks great. You know, British people with their tea, but yeah, it looks great. I like that there's paint, looks clean, and it does stand. I like that little swoosh of color on there for like the highlight. It looks good. But again, maybe a little light on accessories, especially for a smaller figure. I mean, you got more with SpongeBob, who was huge. So, I don't know. You get a ball peg at the top. It's a little loose, but it works. It just rotates, and then the hinge at the shoulder goes up, down. It'll rotate a little bit. Hinge at the elbow, and then the swivel and hinge at the wrists. Now, this would have been a perfect opportunity to make a nice ball joint, but they did not. It just swivels. Whatever. The hips barely move out. They barely move forward, and they barely go back. You get a single jointed knee that does not rotate, and then you just get a swivel hinge. Be very careful with this. Swivel hinge at the ankle. So, not good articulation at all. It is very difficult to get him to stand. Because his head's so heavy, and since he doesn't have like ankle pivot and stuff, it's not impossible, but it is a little bit difficult to get him to stand, and it can get kind of frustrating pretty quick. Finally, let's take a look at the one that became my favorite, Pinocchio. I like the way he looks. He looks cute. I think the aesthetic is very nice. He does have a soft goods vest, which I don't think was necessary, but it doesn't really bother me here. The hands and the leotard, I guess. I don't know if this is overalls, whatever. A little Italian boy. He looks good. His little bow looks good. And I really like the face sculpt on him. He's cute. He's got his little button nose before, you know, he lies or whatever. You get some nice paint on the shoes. I like the gold paint on there. And I like that the pins are silver. I don't know if this like actual pins that they just painted on there, but that works really nice because of, you know, him being a little wooden boy, being, you know, whatever. And I'm happy that they went with the wooden version and not like the actual real boy version. I like this better. I think what would have been cool is if we got like attachments for like a marionette part of him. But he does not come with that, unfortunately. But he does come with some cool stuff, so... It comes with an alternate pair of hands. You get some open hands with Pinocchio. They look cool. And then you do get an apple. I like it. It looks nice. It's just a generic apple. Then you get the axe. I think that this is also very nice. Looks pretty good. I mean, there's really not much to it. Then you get into the cool stuff. So you get his textbook, like when he's trying to go to school. And then the big fox motherfucker comes up and, you know, F shit up. But I like this. I like the gold paint in there. It looks nice. And then these hands are pretty much molded for this, so he can hold the school book very good. But then you get into the really cool stuff. So you get Figaro the cat. I believe it's still Figaro. Yeah, it's definitely Figaro. I know in like Mickey's Friends, he's Minnie's cat. But Figaro looks great. It's cute. This is actually not the first Figaro in my collection. I actually have the toy box one, which I think is funny. But there's Figaro. What I think is the best accessory is, I think the fish's name is Fiona. Oh, it's going to bother me. But you do get the fish, and she looks really, really good. Looks very cute. That's a very cool accessory to get the fishbowl in there. It looks like water on the top. I really like this. This is a very good accessory. The fish looks great. Oh, man, I think it's Fiona. But a character I do know is you'd get Jiminy Cricket. Now, man, they put a lot of paint on this little guy. And that's pretty damn cool. His spats are painted. His jacket, his button on his chest is painted. I like this. He's tiny. He is definitely to scale. So that's very, very cool. But I think my favorite accessories, other than the fishbowl or the alternate head, so you obviously get the lying head, like the surprise where his nose is raising out. But this one is amazing, where it gets the bird nest on the end. That is really, really cool. I like the expression on his face. Now... okay. I'm just noticing this now. I did not get a feather on this head. Oh, man, Super 7. Jesus Christ. But Yeah, I think that's supposed to be glued in because these do not come out. So unless I'm missing something here and there's something else that's supposed to plug in there, I did not get the feather on this head, which sucks because this is my favorite one. So go figure, I guess. Whatever. Man, I'm pretty upset with these figures, but whatever. It's they're just figures. You get a bald peg at the head, looks good, rotates, works fine. You get a hinge at the shoulder, goes up, down. His will rotate up to about there because then his collar piece gets in the way and then rotates back. You do get a hinge and swivel at the elbow, so they get 90 and then they'll rotate. I like that his hyper extends. It's like the only time I think I ever want that. And then the hinge and swivel at the wrist. No torso articulation at all. You get ball pegs at the hips that barely do anything. They are not very good ball pegs, so please be careful with them. They just kind of rotate. You get a hinge at the knee that only gets that much, and it hyperextends, so not very good. And then you get a hinge and swivel pivot, actually, which is nice at the ankle. So the ankles are good. Everything else kind of sucks. There's barely any articulation on him. And for a character like Pinocchio, I do think articulation counts because, when he's dancing, he flips himself all over the place. And I don't expect all that, but he barely moves. Like, it barely is classified as an action figure. Now, in terms of scaling, these are definitely the smallest Super 7 figures I've ever played with, which works, because they're small characters. Pinocchio's a boy, she's a young girl, and then I don't know what the Mad Hatter is. But here's a 6-inch scale figure, and then neck is Kong. And then you do get a 7-inch scale figure and another 6-inch scale figure. So I think these are technically 7-inch scale, but I think they could definitely work for 6-inch if you really wanted. And then obviously you got to get them with zombie cap in here. So, they look fine. I think it could be 6 or 7-inch scale, really, depending on what you want. So you're probably wondering, Am, what are your final thoughts on these guys? And I hate to say it, but I am pretty disappointed. Now, I do have some blue tack on Alice, and she holds. If I ever find another one for a good price, I might just buy that one and see what I can do about getting a replacement. I don't know. We'll see. But I paid $20 a piece for these, so I really can't be too upset about it because I paid like half the retail price of what these things really go for. So with that in mind, I'm still not... I still am pretty disappointed with them. They're not great figures, which kind of sucks because I was pretty excited for them. I just didn't want to pay the full price for them. So then when I was like able to get them for a cheaper price, I was like, wow, awesome. All right, we know we're not going to do that anymore. But, whatever. So at the price point of originally $55 to $60, I'm going to do them individually. I think Pinocchio is objectively the best one, but he's still not worth $60, man. Not even close. I got to give Pinocchio like a 6 out of 10. The articulation sucks and the accessories are cool, but the QC Super 7, that is awful. He gets a 6. Mad Hatter will get a 5. He's a little bit better. This really... Whoa, I just kind of threw it. This really saves him, but the figure himself is kind of lame. And then Alice. I think Alice is the worst one. She comes with the least amount of stuff. The dress is the best part about it. I think the dress is really nice, and I like this little bugger. But, no, we're not going higher than like a 4 for Alice. These are pretty bad. So... with all that in mind, I believe that's all I got for today. So if you've not already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I post a lot over there and I have a lot of fun. So I'm sure you all will too. But as always, let me know. You copied any of these guys? Because don't do it unless you get them at a price like I did. But that's just me. See you guys in the next one. Peace.